What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Combat Sports Media YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about the possibility of the Devon Haney and Ryan Garcia rematch, and I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on it. So here we go. Prior to the Times Square events, so prior to their last fights, I was interested in the fight or the possibility of the rematch, but it wasn't necessarily something I was crazy about because I already knew what the outcome was going to be. I was going to assume that Ryan Garcia walks over Devon Haney just like he did last time, if anything worse. He might even finish him this time. That's what I was thinking. But after the performances they gave last time out, during the Ring Times Square event a few weeks back on Cinco de Mayo weekend. First of all, obviously, both their performances were pathetic, terrible. They should both be ashamed of themselves. And I don't blame people if they don't want to watch them in the future. But individually, as a fan, my interest shot up in the rematch because now you can market it as a loser goes home fight, even though that may not necessarily be the case, obviously, because especially Ryan has a big following. But as a fan, it was more interesting now for me because after the first fight, Ryan was on this big high, and Devon was on a crazy low. And don't get me wrong, Devon is still definitely on a low, but Ryan is no longer on that high either. He's on a low as well. So you got two of them on a low going into the rematch if it happens. And that to me makes it more exciting because now they're coming at the dynamics change and the stakes change. There's no world title on the line, but the stakes are just as high because they both need this win just as bad, if not more than ever. You know what I mean? The first fight was cool and everything. They both needed the win, but for different reasons. In the first fight, it was kind of like a grudge match. I mean, it still is, but it was something that we all knew was going to eventually happen, and the winner was going to catapult into superstardom. But now, it's like the loser goes home. And now it's like they have to fight for the right to be at the world-class stage. At least for the time being, Now, I know that may literally not be the case, but that's how they can market it. And as a fan, that's how I was looking at it. But since that Times Square event, I've noticed that almost nobody is saying or thinking what I'm thinking. And I asked a friend of mine, shout out to Lukey, check out his channel, Lukey Boxing, if you already haven't done so. And I was explaining this to him. I'm like, why is everybody all of a sudden not interested? If anything, they should be more interested because now they both really need to win. And he said to me, the casual fans that tuned into that fight the first time had the impression that both of these fighters were world class. And so now that perception has possibly greatly changed, especially amongst the casual fans, the interest and the luster of the rematch has also gone down with that. And that kind of makes sense to me, but I ain't no casual fan. And I know in reality, the stakes are now higher than ever. And Turkey Al-Sheikh, I hope he goes through with the original plans. I hope he does go through with the rematch. And I hope he's thinking and realizing what I'm thinking and realizing. and he capitalized off of this opportunity and makes this fight bigger than it really is, which is at the end of the day the promoter's job. The promoter has to always make the event bigger than it really is, or seem like it, you know, and make it, the fight, feel and seem more important, or just as important as he possibly can. You know, and that's the promoter's job, and to look for different storylines and ways to make this seem like an important or worthwhile event. And that's how you can do it. This is loser goes home, man. They both need this win now more than ever, more so than the first time. That's pretty damn sure. Yeah, you had the WBC title on the line, but the fans didn't give a shit about it, and the fighters certainly didn't give a shit about it. But with this, everybody's going to be giving a shit involved in this fight this time around. Not that they didn't the first time, you know what I'm saying. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. As soon as it becomes official, I'm going to make content on the fight. I hope it does, because I gave you my reasons why. This is so necessary. This fight is very necessary right now. The storyline, the friction between the two fighters, the promoter, Bill Haney, Henry Garcia. It needs to happen, and it's now, the stakes are higher than ever. And no matter what, this will also probably lead into a trilogy. This is, these guys, if they're smart, they can really make this into a trilogy bigger than it really probably should be. I mean, think about it. In reality, that's what Gotti Ward was. Let's be real. Not that I'll ever probably repeat that again, but So anyway, I'll see you guys soon. God bless.